Hi everyone, Becca here again with another ZoomNotes tutorial. In this video, I'm going to do a quick overview of the new version 8 ZoomNotes update that was released last night, and go over some of the new features that were added and some of the interface changes. So we'll start with the interface tools. If you are familiar with going into your pen tool and your text tool, you'll see that those have changed. The first notice, obviously, if I tap on a tool, instead of popping out from the left-hand side of your screen, it's now going to pop out directly below wherever your tool is. And then you'll see, instead of it being that long box that you scroll through to find options, they've now been divided into these different categories. So if I know, the feature I want to change when I open my pen tool, you could quickly go to whichever category you're looking for, and you could make your change. Same thing if you go into your text tool. You'll see it starts out with your style here, and then you can go into your customization, your border, your fill. With your shape tool, same thing. Starts off with the style here on the left, your border and your fill option. After you go ahead and draw your shape out, if you go back into your shape tool, you'll see the image show up and the links show up for your hyperlinks. So everything that you're used to seeing in that long window is still here. It's just divided up into these categories so you can quickly get to whichever option you're looking to change. Go ahead and delete that box. You'll also notice when I open these that here under the first one, the style category, all of my favorites are showing up here as well. So I used to have them, or I still do currently, but I used to use them over here in the bottom left where I had them docked. But now if you don't want to have them docked down there anymore, you can just tap on your tool and then all your favorites are saved right here at the bottom. Same thing for your text tool, they'll be down here at the bottom. And same thing if you have any favorites for your shape tool. And then the last category in each of these is just called saved here. You can go into that, and that'll be where you can organize what you have saved. So you can add your groups here. You can use the plus sign to add a new favorite. You can use edit to reorganize them or delete them. You also have your undock here as well for the thing over there on the left. So I think it's a lot easier to manipulate your favorites using this interface. So I think that was a really good change. And then there's some new options for some of the tools that never really had any options available. Like the eraser used to just be on or off, but now if you tap it again, you'll get a couple of choices there. The fill bar or the fill tool you can now tap on twice. It's got the color picker down here. It's also got an opacity setting here on this interface. And the little crosshair here gives you some options. So there's a couple of little changes to some of the existing tools. In addition to that, there's been 2 new tool buttons added for split screen. It does work, but so far mine, sometimes it works great and sometimes it's a little wonky. So I think maybe it might need some bug fix. I'm not sure. So they look like these double rectangles here. There's also one going the other direction. So whichever way you want to have your split screen going. So if you tap on it, it gives you the other documents that you have in ZoomNotes. And you can tap on another document and it'll open it. See, now it's working well. It's working well. It'll open it in a split screen here. So if you work in 2 documents a lot, or if you have a sticker book you want to have open, you can have them both on the page at once. And then you can just tap on it again and it'll close. If I tap on the other one and choose the document, and see, sometimes mine doesn't really act right. So I think maybe there's some issue there. Okay, so now they're both open. You can do it split screen that way too, but see, whenever it closes like that, now if I try to turn it off, it's going to leave that red line there. So mine acts a little funky sometimes. It's a good addition, but I think there's a little quirkiness going on there. I don't know if I can put it back. Yeah, see, and then once I get that red line there, it never wants to go away. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of ZoomNotes to get rid of it. So it's a neat feature, maybe not 100% as reliable as I would like it to be yet. So that's going to be the new interface. You can also change the color of your interface depending on which notebook you're in. So this is the default color scheme that I set up is this dark gray with the kind of light purple outline here. But if I'm back here in my settings here, I can tap on the name of my notebook. And then you can go down here to color scheme and find preferred color scheme. So I can turn that on for this notebook. And right now it comes with a light and a dark and then the default. And then you can have the little plus sign down here if you want to add your own. But for now, I can just go ahead and change it to, let's try this light color scheme and hit done. And now when I go back into my test planner here, instead of using my default gray and purple color scheme, it will now use the light color scheme just for this notebook and not for any of the other ones. Although I notice whenever I change my interface color scheme, it always seems to take a long time to load it the second time. There we go. So now this notebook only will be using this light color scheme instead of your default. So if you have a dark planner and a light planner and you want to use a different interface for each of those, you can set that up. And I really hate this, but I'll go ahead and leave it like this. I like the dark color. I'll leave it like this for the video for now. So I think the fun new option here is the addition of a master layer. If you go over here into your layers, you'll see up here in the right-hand corner, it says master layers. So if you played around with the layers in setting up your tabs, especially, you'll know you set it up on one page. Once you get it the way you like it, you'd go into the options over here to copy that layer, copy current layer to all pages, and that would be a quick way to label all of your tabs. However, if you ever wanted to make a tiny change, you would either have to go to every single page and make that change, or you would have to find some way to cover it up and recopy or delete that whole entire layer and start over. So it was kind of a one-time copy, but if you wanted to make changes, you'd have to kind of work around it because it didn't actually reflect changes on every page. But with the master layer, you can now make a change in one place and it'll reflect all across your notebook. So that's pretty cool. So let's say you want to do your tabs using this new option. You go into master layer and hit the plus sign, and then you see it creates a new master layer down here, and you can have more than one. So for this one, I'll just call it tabs. And now you have a master layer created. And if I go back to where I have all my layers, you'll see the top layer up here called tabs is in this blue color. So that kind of signifies it's a master layer, whereas everything else on here is one of my regular layers. So once you get it created, it works very similar to the way the other layers are. You would just want to unlock it, set it as your current layer, and then I could go over here and I can add a text box to it. And I can just create a label. And I can drag it up here and I could label my tabs that way. So the thing about the master layer is it's in a sort of like an edit state until you actually finish doing everything. So right now, this is only going to be on this one page. It has not replicated to all of the other pages yet. So you'd want to tap off of your text box, and then you would want to go back into your layers. You'd want to change to another layer, and you would want to lock this layer. Now, once it's locked and you're done editing, it'll go ahead and replicate it to all of your other pages. So now if I were to go through it, you'll see it's on every page without me having to do anything, and you're done. And then if I ever want to change it, you can go back in here, unlock it, set it to current, tap on my text box, hit space, and I can call it a 1 now, and recenter, tap off. And then if I were to change to my next page, you'll see it still says label because I haven't finished editing this page yet. So once you're done, you'd want to make sure, and once you navigate away, it changes you to a different, if you leave it unlocked and you navigate away, it changes you to another layer. So when you come back here, you just want to go ahead and lock it. And then if I go to my next page, you'll see that they've all changed. And then you'll also notice if you have it unlocked and you're working on it and you go over here to your master layers and you try to delete it, it'll tell you that it's currently being edited. So you can only manipulate it, or you can only delete it if it's locked. It'll only copy to your other pages when it's locked. And then when it's unlocked, it's in an edit mode for that one page alone until you're done. So it won't let you delete it if you have it open somewhere on one of your pages. And so once you have your tabs working the way you like them, and say, that's the only master layer you have, and maybe you're never going to make changes to it again, or you don't want to ever accidentally make changes to it, you can go back here to your notebook settings, tap on the name of your notebook, And then underneath where the color scheme was set up, you'll see the option here for protect master layers. You can turn that on. It'll even actually allow you to password protect it if you really want to make sure it never gets changed. So once you have protect master layers on, if you go back into your notebook and you go into layers, you'll see I no longer have that master layer option, and the tabs one is no longer here. My tab is still there, so everything still works. But it's not here. You can never accidentally unlock it and make changes to it. So if you have something set up and you want to make sure it never gets changed again, that's a kind of a fail safe you can turn on. Of course, if you ever decide you don't like it, you can always come back here, turn this back off, and go back into your notebook, and it'll show up again for you to make changes. So for the most part, I'll probably just leave it here and leave it locked in case I ever want to make changes. So let's see. So that covers the new layers, the new interface. So one of the other options that were added is an option if you want to try to create your own like really quick digital planner inside of ZoomNotes. You can go back here to your main screen and hit the plus sign up here and go to create document. And then you want to hit on this custom section here. And you can go ahead and name it. And then you can choose some options down here. So you can give it a cover and just choose some very basic options here. If I want it to be, a blue cover with a little, I don't know, green square on it for the label. There's also some paper template options if you have any paper templates that you've created that you want to use. Or you can just go ahead and stay with custom and choose sort of just like the basic grid or lined paper, which are down here at the bottom. So if I have mine set to squares right now, and then the line weight here will be how dark the squares are. Let's go back up here. Okay, so you can do your page size, which right now I just have set to US letter. You have the infinite whiteboard mode if you like to use that. You can do specific dimensions. You can change it to a landscape planner. You have your paper colors here, the surround color around the edge of the paper. And then you can go down here to your line spacing if you want to make your squares bigger or smaller. And so once you have the paper set up the way you like it, down here you can toggle this button on here for the digital planner. And once you turn it on, you'll get this option for configure. And in here, you can set up how you want the digital planner to look. So I could do next year's 2019, starting in January, using 12 months. You can make it start on Monday if you want, or you can leave it off and it'll start on Sunday. And then you have some options for some fill options, whatever font you want the planner to use, the font color, the font size. And then you get down here to what kind of tabs you want to have. So the first tab section here is for your months. So if I want my months to run along the right hand side of my planner, I can pick right there, choose the font color, and then you can choose a color palette. So I don't really have anything set up for this, but if you wanted to have 3 or 4 colors that duplicate through your planner, you could set up a little color palette that has 3 or 4 colors, and then just choose that color palette. And you'll see it chooses all the colors. So they will just keep repeating until it goes through all the tabs that you have. And then you can have a border around the tabs if you want. I don't really like that. The corner radius will round it so that they're not square. Tabs filled will either leave them black and white, or you can toggle it on to use the colors that you chose up here. And then you have the line thickness if you have the border on, which I do not. And then you can have auxiliary tabs for miscellaneous categories in your notebook. So I have it set to have an additional 6 tabs that run along the top of the screen. Again, you get to make tab colors, choose a color palette. And then down here, you can set up weekly pages. So if you leave this off, then you just get a monthly planner. If you toggle this on, there will be a weekly page for every week of the year. And then the day division will kind of divide up your day into sections. So if you're used to something like the Happy Planner where it has like the 3 boxes per day, you could set day divisions here to 3. And then every day of the week will have the 3 boxes that you can use. You can also add a note section to the bottom of every page, and you could give it a title if you want to call it something other than notes. And that's basically it. And then you can go back here and hit create. And so now I have this cover page that I set up on the first page, or the first section there with the blue with the green square to create as a cover. And then the next page here will be your planner. And you'll see over here on the right-hand side, I have all the tabs with all the different months, and they're already set up to link to those months. And then along the top, I have my auxiliary tabs that just take you to blank pages. So I can go over here and tap on January, and it will take me to a very basic January calendar layout. And then I can tap on like the number 7 here, and it will take me to some weekly pages. And I just noticed that is not taking me to the correct day. So if I tap on this week, it's taking me to the 14th. And if I tap on the 14th, it's taking me to the 21st. So I think maybe there needs to be some work done here, because it doesn't look like if I tap on the week, it's taking me to the correct week in the planner. So I think that needs to be fixed. But otherwise, you can see it's dividing it into the 3 categories here that we picked. It's got the notes section over there on the side, and if you tap on that, for some reason it seems to be off by 1 week, so hopefully that gets fixed. But otherwise, if you just wanted to create your own free planner in here for some very basic functionality, you could do that. And then obviously, you could make changes to it from here if you want to. It looks like it creates a whole bunch of master layers that it's using throughout the planner. So once you have it set up, you have the option of going in there and making changes to it. But it gives you a really quick basic layout that has a bunch of hyperlinks already set up. And hopefully we'll go to the correct week at some point. But it's kind of a cool new feature if you want to play around with that and create your own digital planner. And go back here. I'm going to get rid of that one for now. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it that I've seen so far. I haven't played with everything yet, so there could be some other options in here I haven't found, but that's kind of the main stuff I've seen. So I would recommend you download it. I kind of live on the edge. I didn't really take any precautions before I downloaded it. I have my entire iPad backing up on a nightly basis, but I'm actually not currently doing a separate backup from my planner. So if that makes you nervous, you might want to do a backup of your planner or export it out to a PDF or something first. But I just went for it and downloaded it and opened it, and everything came over just fine. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, go check it out. Thank you so much for watching.